Well, Tony, I will say, in looking at the quick scan I've done across the nation of coaches that have come back to a school. So
Right.
Bill Snyder, of course, built
Yes.
Kansas State. And if you're going to define building a program, look to see what he did at Kansas State. He would
Mhm.
be the classic example. He went back after being gone for a few seasons and didn't wasn't able to quite recapture the same level of success. They were still a good team that went to bowl games each year. John Robinson at USC, of course,
Yes.
had a tremendous run at USC, came back after his stint with the Rams, not quite as successful, still won a Rose Bowl, still a good record. It seems like a difficult ask to kind of recapture that glory the second time around.
I think it is in general, and it is particularly, I'm going to say, with Oregon because of what Chip Kelly did when he was up there the first time. This wasn't just winning football games. This went a large way to reinventing the way college football was played, with three receivers and a split out running back, and everybody is in the play on. He ran the ball a lot more than people remembered. Wasn't chucking it downfield, but he was spreading the defenses like crazy by putting multiple players in motion and moving linebackers and the safeties around, and then when everyone gets set, you put someone else in motion. But the game has changed. The defenses have caught up to that. And so you can't go back and do what you did. You got to go back with something else. What is that something else? Is it what he's done at UCLA for the last 4 years, but maybe he's got more talent up there? Man, that's tough to say, because this UCLA team that is a moderately acceptable 8-4, this his 4 years was built for this year. For the previous 3 years, we heard about how young the team was and all the transfers and all the new players, and everything was built towards this season when you returned 20 starters and you had one of the most veteran teams in the country, and you got to 8-4. And like you said earlier, look, no one's going to sneeze at 8-4. However, you beat nobody with a winning record. As a matter of fact, the winning percentage for all the teams you beat throughout the season is 34%. So, you lost to every team you played with a winning record, they beat you. So, again, maybe that's just, hey, it's UCLA and I did what I did with what I had, but these were his players, these were his guys, this was his team, this was his system. So I don't know. Can you possibly say, well, if I do it up at Oregon, it'll be different? Look, I don't know. I know, obviously, Phil Knight, Uncle Phil, is going to throw whatever money he needs to throw at any situation. They've already actually approved the financing, with his backing, of course, of a new practice facility, state of the art practice facility. Oregon's already got some of the best facilities in the entire country, and they're going to build a new one. They haven't had a new practice facility in like 10 years, and they're building a new one that'll be finished in 2 years. Phil Knight is going to go a long way in determining what happens, because he is the financier for the school. It's like going to see the Dawn. You got to get your money, and you got to get a sign off from the Dawn. I expect him in some capacity to have the school reach out to big names, and I mean bigger than Chip. And with more recent success than Chip. I go back to what he did with the basketball program when they had an opening, and that horrifically ugly basketball court, was named after his son. But when they had a basketball opening, he actually called Mike Krzyzewski. He called Coach K to try and talk him into going to Oregon. And he called Tom Izzo, and obviously got nowhere with either of them. And he settled in on Dana Altman, and Altman's a good coach, and he's done fine at Oregon. I can see that kind of scenario playing out this time, but it's got to happen quicker, because he's going to have an interim coach, for the bowl game, for the Alamo Bowl. He didn't, apparently no one liked my idea. Since Bob Stoops is going to go coach Oklahoma for the bowl game, they should bring back Mike Bellotti
Mike
to coach
Bellotti.
coach Oregon, and throw it back a couple decades, and see where the game goes. But they're going to have an interim, for the Alamo Bowl. that buys them a few weeks to get this done. Really not much longer than that. You can't go into mid-January in the second signing period with no new coach.